Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is NAJMAN bin Fauzi. So today our group will talk about the famous fraud scandal that happened in United States, that is Boeing 737 MAX 8 scandal. So if you want to know more about this case, please stay until the end of video. So before we go through about that case, let's find out what is accounting fraud. Accounting fraud can be defined as a purposeful manipulation of financial record for personal or government advantage using strategy like fabricating sales, prematurely recognizing income, and understanding the expense. The Aaron crisis is one of the examples that we can include because they minimize debt and overstating the income, resulting in numerous of investor losses, job layoff, and regulatory change, including the surveillance or edge. This action, while temporarily boosting investor confidence, naturally have serious consequences once discovered, highlighting the importance of effective detection of prevention measures such as strong internal control, independent audit, and maintaining trust in corporate governance. So now I will continue to talk about asymmetric information about the BOEING case. Asymmetric information is a scenario which is one side to a transaction has more or better information than the other, resulting in asymmetry in knowledge that potentially adverse consequences. The Boeing 737 MAX 8 scandal in several of ways. The first one is between Boeing and regulation. Boeing was aware of the 737 MAX 8 design flaw and safety risks, but did not fully disclose this to regulatory bodies like the FAA. This lack of transparency may have left authorities unaware of the seriousness of safety concerns that leading to delay or inadequate regulatory action. So the second asymmetric information is between Boeing and airlines or customer. Boeing display the 737 MAX as a safe and efficient, withholding or reducing information concerning the maneuvering characteristic augmentation system (MCAS), which has the potential to overrule the pilot instruction and cause devastating crashes. Airlines and customers purchasing the aircraft may not have been adequately told about this hazard, resulting in purchasing choice based on income. So now I will continue to talk about the role and responsibility of board of directors in agency theory. The agency theory focuses on relationship between the board of directors, particularly the CEO, and the overall operation of corporation, ensuring alignment with stakeholder interests, notably shareholder. The first one role and responsibility of board of director is monitoring management. Director serve as a oversee as a firm. They monitor what the manager are doing to ensure they are making appropriate decision and not taking excessive risk. The second one is forming company strategy. The board of director play an important role in determining company long-term decision. They approve a large-scale strategy like entering new market or introducing new goods. The last one is accountability and transparency. The board enhance responsibility and transparency in company financial reporting and management. This include certifying financial accounting, keeping correct record, and sharing information with shareholder and regulatory organizations. So now I will talk about human biasness and personal interest. According to agency theory, human biasness and personal interest have substantial influence on the interaction between shareholders and their agents, such as management or the board of directors. Biases and interests can lead to agency difficulties as agents prioritize their own incentive over best interest of the principal. There are some points of this human bias and personal interest. The first one is conflict between principal and agent. Conflict appears when agent's interest is agreed from those of a principal. Agents may have prioritized personal interest, career development, or job stability over increasing shareholder value. Second one is self-interest bias. Agents, like as a board member of executive, may have personal interest like bias into their decision. The third one is overconfidence bias. Overconfident bias among board member or executive might result in reckless decisions that harm the company in some way. This bias may limit the ability to critically analyze different points of opinions. The next is confirmation bias. Individually may deliberately obtain to interrupt information to support their established view or conclusion. Bias can prevent critical examination or alternative and ignore warning sign resulting in negative consequences for the company. And the last one is groupthink. Groupthink may arise among the board of directors. Prioritize unity in group above critical examination might result in lack of the alternative perspective and pro decision making. So now I will talk about fiduciary of board of director. The first one is duty of care. Board members must apply reasonable care and effort when carrying out their responsibility. This entails actively engaging in board meeting, maintaining current of the company activity, asking questions, and making intelligent decisions. The second one is duty of loyalty. Board member must put the company and shareholder interest over their own or customer interest. They should avoid conflict of interest and refrain from engaging in activity that could harm their independence. The third is duty of disclosure. Board members are required to declare any possible conflict of interest or relevant information that may influence the company course of action. This promotes transparency and informed decision making by the board. The last one is duty of protect assets. Board of members are in charge of protecting the company assets and resources, including financial assets, intellectual property, and reputation. This includes putting together proper control, supervision system, and risk management technique to reduce possible hazards and safeguard the company interests.
Good evening, my name is Umar FARIS bin SHAFIE, and I would like to continue this presentation talking about what actually happened in BOEING, what's the origin of the fraud, and what makes the fraudulent activities occur. Now, it all started with this insane rivalry between the two largest airplane manufacturers, Airbus and BOEING. If one of them can offer a better plane, can manufacture a better plane, the other company will lose tons of money. And that's exactly what was about to happen in 2010. Airbus announced that they will be having an update on their most popular airplane model, which is the A320. Now, the highlight of this update is that they installed a bigger engine, but they managed to find their way on saving the fuel consumption by 15%. Now, 15% may seem like a small figure, but not in the airplane industry. 15% could save up to millions of dollars worth of fuel. Now, that's when BOEING was like, okay, I'm gonna do something bigger, better, and more profitable. And that's when they introduced the Boeing 737 MAX. Turns out this was just the beginning of an end. In the span of 5 months' time, not one, but 2 airplane crashes took part, both involving the MAX, and 346 lives have been taken away. The first crash took part on October 29, 2018 by Lion Air Flight 610, and secondly on March 10, 2019 by Ethiopian Airline Flight 302. After the first plane crash, people start to question about this airplane model, because it is so unusual that a brand new airplane that just got into the commercial service had crashed literally less than a year. Now, some of the most important reporting that came out after the crash was an obscure piece of software that not only the public didn't know about, but so does the pilot, which is the MCAS. When this happened, people start to be a little bit more skeptical. Like, how can you let someone pilot an aircraft that they didn't even fully understand about the airplane itself? Not very long after, a second plane crash took part, but this time it is in Ethiopia. To many surprises, it was in fact the Boeing 737 MAX 8 again. Now, plane crashes in general are very rare, but plane crashes within 5 months of each other sounds a little bit too crazy. Boeing's transparency was being brought up yet again after a news came out saying that the Boeing didn't even inform FAA that the warning system that helped pilot diagnose the MCAS malfunction is not working as intended. It was only until July 2019 that FAA had done their own internal risk analysis, and the analysis found out that there will be 15 other crashes in the matter of 2 decades if FAA and Boeing didn't do anything. Now, this made people ask, what was the role of FAA in Boeing? It was later then found out that FAA delegates Boeing own employees to do some of the oversighting work. This was quote-unquote fox guarding the hen's house. When a fox is guarding a hen's house, it is clear as daylight that something fishy might be going on in the company. Now, to summarize the story, Boeing can be classified as a business who prioritize money over anything else, because there is so many blueprints that the whistleblower provides that shows that Boeing prioritized the production of the plane but neglecting the airplane safety. Speaking about whistleblower, there are 2 whistleblowers involved in the scandal as of 7th of May 2024, which are John Barnett and Joshua Dean. John Barnett served the company over 30 years, which in 2010, he was then employed as a quality manager in Boeing. He allegedly pointed out the malpractices in Boeing safety precautions, which also includes an evidence-backed up claim where a failure rate of 25% of oxygen system in the airplane might come to a full failure. Now, Boeing denied one of John's claims about the existence of hazardous objects in the airplane, but FAA soon found out that after doing their own review, those claims really corroborates to their findings. But things went sideways for him. He was found dead in March 9th, 2024, which has been claimed as a suicidal death. The second whistleblower, Joshua Dean, he was a quality auditor in Boeing supplier Spirit Aerosystems. Dean quoted, there is some serious and gross misconduct by senior quality management of the 737 product line while filing a lawsuit against the company. Now, upon the lawsuit, he was then fired, and yet again, he filed another complaint upon the retaliation of the termination was related to Boeing's aircraft safety. But what's most horrifying about this is that what happened to John Barnett happened to him. He was then found out dead after claiming to be infected by some sorts of bacterial infection. But how come someone who really took care of the body, never had any medication, suddenly infected less than a week that his heart started to mesh as if some chemicals were inflicted to him? Many people are very skeptical about the death of these 2 whistleblowers because both of them passed away in the midst of a lawsuit. It was seen as if someone is taking matters into their own hand because both of these deaths occurred in the matter of few days after the lawsuit has been filed. That is all for me. Thank you very much.
Assalamualaikum. So my name is AMIRUL. So I will present about 3 things that causes fraud, which is pressures, opportunities, and rationalizations. So based on the Boeing 737 MAX scandal case, it is not considered as a fraud because the Boeing company did not intend to steal money or misstate financial statements for personal gain. It is more a case of negligence in which the company prioritized cost savings over safety protocols during the development process. However, the three, which is pressures, opportunities, and rationalizations, continue to drive this scandal. So let's start with pressures. Boeing faced intense competitive pressure from Airbus, particularly with their A320neo product, which boasts fuel-efficient engines and advanced technology. To remain competitive and safeguard its market share, Boeing speed up the development process of the 737 MAX. However, this rush may have led to oversight of critical safety considerations, such as design flaws in the maneuvering characteristic augmentation system, or we call it in short term MCAS. Boeing's financial performance was closely related to the success of the 737 MAX program. Delays or setbacks in production could result in significant financial losses, harming Boeing's reputation and reducing investor confidence. This financial pressure may have pushed Boeing to prioritize expediency or speed up over thoroughness during the certification process, potentially harming safety standards. Okay, moving on to opportunities. There was significant market demand for fuel-efficient aircraft as airlines sought to reduce operating costs and environmental impact. The 737 promised improved fuel efficiency and performance, aligning with airlines' demand for modern, low-cost narrow-body jets. Additionally, Boeing had significant influence and knowledge of the AAS certification processes. This familiarity could have helped Boeing navigate the regulatory landscape and speed up the 737 MAX certifications. And finally, let's discuss about rationalizations. Boeing executives may have rationalized that the safety risk associated with the MCAS system were outweighed by the financial benefits of bringing the 737 MAX to market quickly. They may have believed that any potential safety issues could be resolved through pilot training or software updates after the aircraft was released. Decision makers might also minimize the risk associated with the MCAS system, which they underestimating their potential impact on the flight safety.
This Boeing 737 affects so many parties. The first one that being affected, of course, the auditor. So the auditor that involved can damage their reputation because this is a high-profile scandal. This scandal will raise so many questions about the effectiveness of the auditor, which will result loss of trust and confidence of shareholder, investor, regulators, and the public due to the concern of their roles in auditing financial statement and disclosure. Next, there will be increasing in regulatory, meaning that the regulatory will make a closer look on how auditors perform their job. For example, regarding the independence and objectivity of the auditors. This case will make regulators question if the auditor were truly independent, meaning that they will check how close the auditor to the Boeing, including any extra services they provided or how much money they were made from the Boeing. Next, the effect is the auditor will face legal liability such as negligence claims that causing investor and regulator sue the auditor and claiming that they didn't do their job carefully enough. Next, for board of director, it will affect the reputation of the board of director because he is failed to oversight about the Boeing 737, and people will critique the board for approving the plane design and not listening to the warning about the safety problems. And also this will make people lose trust and can cause directors fallout and leadership changes. Other than that, the effect for the shareholder is that they will face financial losses because there surely will be a decline in the stock price, and the company might have to cut back on the payout dividend to the shareholder. Not only that, the competitor like Airbus will also take a chance to go ahead while Boeing was dealing with the problems that can cost less money in the long run. So lastly, for the effect for the consumer is that the consumer will be concerned more about safety and they will be scared to fly with the same model airplane due to bad reputation, and consumer have to face travel disruption like cancelling flight and have to adjust their plans. The first penalty that the company is facing is that the family of the crash victim filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the BOEING. This is because the BOEING is being negligent in the designing, development and certification of the 737 aircraft. The next penalty is security fraud lawsuit because the company made false or misleading statement about the safety of the aircraft and its compliance with regulatory requirement, which lead to inflated stock prices. So the shareholder filed a lawsuit regarding to these cases. The next penalty is breach of safety regulation. The lawsuit claimed that BOEING broke the rules in designing the aircraft. Investors said that BOEING didn't follow safety regulation or industry standard, which put the plane at the risk.
So the conclusion that we can conclude from this case is the Boeing 737 MAX 8 situation show the critical roles of crisis management, communication and involvement of stakeholders. Despite its numerous innovation, the aircraft had a serious safety flaw resulting in two terrible crashes. This emphasized the importance of broad safety audit and examination of certification process, especially by the FAA. The lack and transparency in process and revealing information concerning the maneuvering characteristic augmentation system (MCAS) raised questions about certification efficiency. BOEING and the FAA must prioritize safety by committing to more transparency, observation, and quality-focused culture. This allowed them to prevent such as accident and ensure flight security for future generations.
Okay, so what we have learned from the Boeing 737 MAX case is that it is an important example of the critical importance of putting safety first in any industry, especially in aviation. It emphasized the risk of prioritizing competitive rivalry, financial incentives, and tight production schedules over comprehensive safety considerations. This scandal shows the importance of building a culture of transparency and accountability in the design and testing process. Furthermore, the case highlights the importance of strict regulatory oversight and independence in ensuring aircraft safety. Regulatory agencies must have the authority and resources to conduct strict design evaluations while avoiding conflicts of interest. Finally, this episode demonstrates how challenges and adversity can be used for growth and improvement, emphasizing the importance of viewing them as opportunities to learn, adapt, and grow stronger. Thank you.
So that is all from our group. I hope you guys enjoyed watching our video. So bye.